Good morning, everybody. Very much appreciate for chanting all the verses. So among the chanting, essence of dependent origination mantra in English, all phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation of the cause as well is taught by Great Seer. This, the 4 lines actually introduce us the foundation of the Buddha teaching. So at the beginning is very clear that all phenomena and anything around us, any kinds of phenomena arise or establish. They are there. How all phenomena exist, establish, there. How? That means from causes. So what is the Buddha teaching about? Buddha just introduced us what are the causes to exist, the phenomena around us. Then particularly as a sentient beings, so we have feeling, pleasant and unpleasant feeling. Also as a sentient beings, we have a concept of happiness and concept of suffering. Suffering is opposite of the happiness. Happiness is opposite of the suffering. Then why we have pleasant and unpleasant feelings? Again, there are causes to arise, generate pleasant feeling. There are causes and conditions to generate, to develop, to arise the unpleasant suffering. Then Buddha just introduced all the unpleasant suffering you had, all the unpleasant suffering we had, all of them arise from causes and conditions. He just introduced us what are the perfect cause to arise suffering, what are the perfect causes to arise happiness. Through our study, we need to recognize the perfect, the exact, the right causes and condition, which is give rise suffering. Then, second, we need to control the causes and condition, which is give rise suffering. In the other hand, also we need to recognize what are the causes and condition which give rise happiness. When we recognize them, then we need to develop, we need to increase the causes and condition to develop happiness. So this, this essence of the dependent origination mantra. So these 4 lines actually establish the Buddha teaching based on dependent origination. All the Buddha teachings, all the practices we do actually lies on, based on the dependent origination. So once we understand the meaning of dependent origination, the second, we will know the emptiness. Once we know the emptiness of the phenomena around us, since there's no more attachment, when there's no more attachment, things around us, whether it's a human being or non-human being or things around us. When there's no attachment things around us, there's no more attachment towards people around us. When we lose something, we don't feel unhappiness. When we lose our dear and near one, we don't have the sadness. That means once we able to control the attachment towards the phenomena, towards the person, then almost all our emotional suffering, almost like 50% of our emotional suffering can be controlled, can be reduced. Therefore, we need to know the dependent origination, interdependent, dependent on causes and condition. The causes condition produce a result. Through understanding of dependent origination, that we will understand emptiness. When we understood emptiness, there no more attachment, no more anger, no more hatred, which is, cannot be aroused so strongly. Therefore, this meaning is very important. So also, I said in the past, every month we must have a, discussion class. So today we will have a more discussion. We can discuss through Q&A. Before it, I will read few stanzas from the precious Garland. The stanza number 124, chapter number 2, 124. If this doctrine is not understood thoroughly, the conception of I, the conception of un-I prevails. If this doctrine means, if the teaching or the meaning of emptiness not understood precisely, then the conception of un-I is always there. The conception of I always there. Hence comes virtues and non-virtues. Since we don't understand emptiness, then we have very strong, a sense of I, which is the independent I. So when we have very strong I, then we don't want suffering, we want happiness. Then almost our whole life we spend with accumulating merit, accumulating negative actions. Come virtues and non-virtuous actions, which give rise to good and bad rebirths. The virtuous action until realizing emptiness, all the good action, all the virtuous action can give rise only good rebirth, like a human deva. We said, good rebirth. When we reflect on our life as a human, there's no such as, we feel, wow, it's so good. The food, the place where we live, the clothes we wear, which we wear, the food we will eat, we don't feel these are such as, good. Particularly when we reflect with our life, particularly the physical body which we possess, there's nothing we can say, wow, this body is such a good body. No, it's full of suffering, basis of all kinds of suffering, basis of all kinds of problem. Therefore, a virtuous action is a virtuous compared with a non-virtuous is much better action, give better rebirth, but the rebirth, the good rebirth is also naturally nature of suffering. Therefore, then what shall we do? So we need to realize emptiness. And this moment, I don't understand emptiness. I don't have the wisdom to realize emptiness. Then what should we do? In the next line, 125. Therefore, as long as the doctrine removing the conception of I is not known, until as long as, therefore, as long as the doctrine, the emptiness of I, emptiness of me, not known, then take heed of practices, giving, ethics, and patience. Even though we don't understand emptiness, it takes time. Definitely we will realize emptiness, but before we realize emptiness, also we must practice generosity, then ethical discipline or ethics, then patience. Three excellent cause to have perfect life, perfect condition, and perfect beauty of life. Also, you remember entering the middle is explained the same way. If we practice ethics purely, then next life we can born as a deva or human. We can have an excellent life, excellent rebirth. Plus ethics, if we practice generosity, then next life we can have all the excellent condition, excellent necessary condition. Plus two, then ethics, generosity, then patience. If we practice patience in this life, and next life, we can be, be born as an excellent person who has excellent deva, who has all the beautiness. Therefore, as long as the doctrine removing the conception of I is not known, take heed of the practices of giving, ethic, and patience. 126. A lord of the earth who perform actions with their period, intermediary, and final. Also, until we realize emptiness, also we must practice the Dharma at the beginning, in the middle, at the end. Mean whole our life need to practice the Dharma. Final practice. That means like a period, intermediary, the final practice. What practice? Practice the Dharma. It's not harm here or not in futures. So if you practice Dharma every day, then there's no any harming in this life, nor harming in next life. There's a few reasons. If you always be compassionate person, if you always be generous person, for a short time, you feel many people taking advantage from me. Many people deceive me. But slowly the people who deceived you, the person who deceived you, they will realize you are such a nice person. Then they have a strong regret deceiving you. Then slowly they also will come back to you, support you, help you, be friend with you. Also, there are so many formless beings around us. If you always be compassionate, nice, honest, good person, then also the formless being, you can say ghost, spirit, whatever you name, they also, at the beginning, they try to harm you, little bit here, there. Then they realize you are such a nice person, nice with everybody. Therefore, when we do prayers, we should not only visualize the being who has a form, we must visualize the formless being true. That means they can see your thoughts, your minds. Also, they can hear your chanting. Then all the formless being also always be friend with you. Then the next thing, the most important one, you are just simple, ordinary person. Very simple, very ordinary person. But you have a, such a good heart, compassionate heart, honesty, everything, you have all the inner good qualities. Then all the bodhisattvas, all the Arya, Arhato, Buddhas very much praise your daily practice. That means when you practice compassion for just 10 minutes, you can imagine first you feel inner happiness. All your anger, hatred going to be controlled, slowly going to disappear. Then the people who live around you, they also become peaceful person. Then the formless being who live around you, they also learn compassion, tolerance. Also they feel happiness. Then all the bodhisattvas, arha, Buddha, also they really, have a rejoice. You are practicing pure dharma, which is generosity, ethics, patience, compassion, tolerance. Imagine just, practicing compassion for 10 minutes. Not harm here, then in the future. That means, again, we need to think about cause and effect. If you are very peaceful person today, whole day you are being a peaceful person. The evening, before you sleep or during the sleep, you have a peaceful mind. You have a happy sleeping. You don't have any destructive mind. The whole day you practice compassion, you have a peaceful mind. At night, you have a peaceful mind. Then, when you have a peaceful and happy night, next morning when you wake up, also you have a peaceful mind. Likewise, if we have a very peaceful, happy mind in this life, no any harming others, then next life nobody can harm you. Therefore, harm here, not in the future. Through practices here through practices, there are fame and happiness here. Therefore, through the practicing Dharma, what you can achieve? You can achieve fame. Then you will become when you have a good and good name in your family, then your neighbors, then slowly maybe in your country, because everybody appreciate you. Therefore, fame and happiness here. If you want happiness, practice patience, ethics, generosity, plus compassion, kindness, tolerance. There's no fear now or at the point of death. If you practice Dharma purely, you no need to worry about anything. You won't have any kinds of fears. Particularly, there's no fear or at the point of death. Normally, we have all kinds of fears. Insecurity. People always talk about secure your life, secure your property. Actually, nobody can secure their life. Nobody can secure you from sickness. Sickness will come. Aging is, coming every day. Then the last is the death. Nobody can secure your life except the Dharma. If you practice Dharma, there's no any kinds of fears. Somebody deceive you, still you're okay. Somebody criticize you, you're okay. Somebody say, I will kill you, you're also okay. Therefore, there's no fear because you practice Dharma purely. Particularly, there's no fear at the point of death. Whether we want or not, everybody had to go through the process of death. Death will come for everybody, come anytime, uncertainty. So when we think about death, we feel a bit scary. It's called scary. When the actual death comes, there's a more sense of fear. We cannot imagine this moment. First, we really don't know what to do. We stuck in between this life and next life. Next life with your relatives. Next life and your belongings. So you look like your thoughts are total hang up. You don't know what to do. You don't want to die, but definitely you will die within a few hours. Also, after you died, you cannot see them as your relative anymore. Particularly, you have a like a very particular kind of property like money, house, car, whatever. I put a lot of effort to have this thing. Today, I have to leave all of them behind me. Then you have a lot of confusion, attachment. Also, you get angry. You cannot survive anymore. There's a lot of fears. If you practice Dharma in your daily life, there's been moment of the death. At the point of the death, you feel happiness. You feel joyness. You are very much excited to go to next life. Death. In the next life, happiness flourish. If you want happiness next life, practice Dharma. Therefore, always observe the practice. Therefore, observe means always engage into practice of Dharma. Then we can have all the practice benefits. The practice are the best policy or best kind of means. It is through them the world is placed. He's talking, this teaching, Nagarjuna, taught to the king. They say the practice are best. The practice Dharma is the best policy or best kind of methods, means. It is through them that the world is placed. Neither here nor in the future is one headed, a world that has been placed. So we are, not a king, but when we practice Dharma, then through the practice of Dharma, all your families very much pleased you. Neither here in this life, nor in the future is once cheated. Nobody can cheat you. By the world that has been placed. Therefore, we need to practice Dharma. Then all your family very much pleased to you. Friends, neighbors, co-workers, the people whom you know, everybody very much pleased to you. Pleased to you. How could those with senseless divine mind on a path to bad transmigration, what is intent on the deceiving other, have understood what is meaningful? Then the next, the most important one, 132. And 32. How could those intend on deceiving other be person of policy? So we have a sense of attachment towards. We have a strong clinging of our pleasant, pleasant life, happy life. Therefore, we think we need so many things. We need so many things. So when you look at around you, we think I don't have much. I don't have much clothes. I need more clothes. I need to buy more clothes. Then there's no money. Then we deceive others. I don't have a car. I need to buy a car. Then we deceive others. Or I have a very small house. I need bigger house. Then we deceive others. Right? Therefore, here said, other be person. Therefore, in order to be happy ourselves, if we cheat other, we deceive other, for the short term we can gain some benefit. the long time, we will be a lot of suffered, we have a lot of suffering. Through it, they themselves will be cheated. If I cheat other people will cheat us. Once we cheat the other people won't come to see you. Then this means we are cheating ourselves. In many thousands of births, not only this life, next life, after next life, thousands of life, you will be cheated by others because we cheat them. Then as a king, what we should do when we have, kind of bad people around us, around the king. As a king, he has a, great responsibility to look after all the people. Within the, citizens, there are so many, bad people there. Then the king also have to give a punishment. How he or she can give punishment? Even if you seek to harm an enemy, you should remove your own defects and cultivate good qualities. These are very wise way to, punish the enemy. How to harm the right way to enemy. For example, everybody has experience. In the past, you and your friend, he or she doesn't matter. Both of you are very much same. The job, earning, the money, the position, everything is exactly the same. You are a good friend. Then somehow you are, you became better person. You have a better position. You earn more than your friend. Then slowly your friend jealous you. Then somehow your friend became enemy with you. Then you think, oh, in the past we are friends, now he or she is my enemy. I must give, punishment to my friend. But the best way you really can, torture or punish to your enemy, mean remove, here say, you should remove your own defects, your faults, cultivate good quality, right? When you cultivate good qualities, you become better person, happy person, good person. Then your enemy also, become more unhappy. That means indirectly you are giving punishment or torturing your enemy. But what we do, we just have an argument and fighting, criticizing in front of the enemy. These are the not good way to, punish the enemy. Remove your, all the bad qualities and cultivate good qualities. Through that, you will help yourself, or you become better person, you become happier person. Then the enemy will be displeased. This means the worst way to give punish to your enemy. But normal, what we never remove our good, bad qualities, then we, give a lot of punishment. You should causes the assembling of the religious and the worldly through the giving, speaking pleasantly, purposeful behavior, and the concordance behaviors. This is, we say, as the four means of gathering others. If you just want to have a more friends. If you need more friends, step number one, you need to give something to them. You offer food, you offer tea, coffee, or you give some support, those people around you, then they become your friends. You are gathering around the people who live around you because you are a generous person. Second, if you give things to your friends and family who live around you, you give food, clothes, medicine, money, hands, and helping. But your way of speaking is very unpleasant. Then people won't come to you. They comes to you one time or two times to have a tea, coffee with you. Since the people never come back to you because the way of speaking is very unpleasant. Therefore, speaking pleasantly. Then you got the two conditions to gather people around you. And the third one, purposeful behavior. Mean then when someone became friend with you due to being a generous and speak pleasantly, he or she became your friend. That is a natural. When someone became your friend, then you give advice then, but they will advise you. Now you think you are giving advice to your friends. How? I mean, you said, oh, you are smoking lot of, you are drinking alcohol. Those are very harmful for your health. You say you stop smoking and drinking alcohol. You give advice. But without knowing your friend, you yourself smoking, drinking alcohol, that means your behavior is not the purposeful. When you say you should not drink alcohol, first you yourself should not drink alcohol. When you say to someone quit smoking, you need to stop, or you should not drink smoking. Then the person will listen to you. For example, first time when I came to Singapore in TBC at Garland, the first day I introduced myself to the ESCO and some of the Dharma friends. I said, my name is Geshe Lobsang Yonten. I'm a Geshe. This. And also I openly told them I am not vegetarian. I'm not a vegetarian. I take meat, but not always. Sometimes I eat meat. I openly, said, make sure in the future I should no need to do, the double kind of faces. Also, we have some, Tibetan monks and who come to Singapore or Thailand. They look like very pure vegetarian. Back to India, Nepal, Bhutan, they eat meat. One way good. Generally, whatever they do, better to do openly. The third one, accordance behaviors. Then what he or she said, he or she must act according to the Buddha teaching. If you have these four qualities, giving, speaking pleasantly, purposeful behavior, and accordant behaviors, you will have so many friends, because you have the four means for together people. Then the religious level, let's say I'm a Geshe. Then let's say, example, I want many students, many disciples. The best, again, is same way. Also, you must give something to the students, the people. Then slowly become friend, speak pleasantly. Then I give advice. Then give a teaching. Also, my behavior also must according to with the teaching. My behavior also, act what I said. Then I can have a more disciples or students. That means this one is how we can gather more friends around us. The next stanza is talking about be truthful. Truthful. Just as by themselves the truth words of the king generate fame, truth. So their false words are the best means create distrust. Just as by themselves the truth words of the king generate the fame, trust. Let's say you are, like a work for a company. You work for a, small company, restaurant, whatever. Or you work for, like elderly people. So you and the, owner must have a strong trust each other. Particularly, the owner must have a trust to you, trust on you. How? First, you speak honestly. You speak the truthful words. Then the owner have a, very firm trust. Then their false words. If you speak, if you're a liar, if you speak, the false word, then the owner, whoever your boss, they create the distrust. It's general like that. Then these are the next few sentences explain to be honest. Then stanza number 138. 138. From wisdom, one has the mind unshakable. None relies on other feminists, is not to deceive. Therefore, O king, be intent on wisdom. As a king, the king must be very wise, have a great wisdom. As a human living in the human society, living in your family, living with your friends, you always have to be wise. You must have the right wisdom. If you are very wise and you have a good wisdom, nobody can really cheat you or shake you. As mind, there has been when you have a very wisdom mind, whatever you are thinking, nobody can really change your belief. No reliance on other feminists and not to deceive. Therefore, O king, be intent on wisdom. That means be wise, have a good wisdom. A Lord of humanity, having the four goodness. What are the four goodness? Truth, generosity, peace, and wisdom. Also, as an ordinary person, we need these four goodness: truth, generosity, peace, and wisdom. Is praised by good and God and humans. If you are a truthful person, generous person, peaceful person, wise person, then the gods and human, everybody praise you because you have such as good qualities, as are the four good practices themselves. So remember the four goodness. Then stanza number 140. Wisdom and practice always grow from one who keep company with those who speak adversely, who are pure and who have untainted wisdom and compassion. That means practice dharma with the wisdom. The wisdom must go with the dharma. Then compassion must go with the wisdom. Wisdom must go with the compassion. Then next few sentences is talking about rare or helpful speaker. It's a very true, particularly this day. We have a very few rare people who really, speak or say something which is helpful us. Rare or helpful speaker. Listener are very rare, right? Therefore, you just do, experiment. You walk around, Singapore. You know you need something, but nobody speak you, which is useful for you. Rare or helpful speaker. Then listener, very rare. Actually, you speak something which is helpful for them, benefit for them. Usually it's very rare to giving advice. And also very rare people to listen you. But rare still are those who act at one on what they thoroughly unpleasant or beneficial. So when somebody advise you, mainly benefit for you, but when you listen the advice, you feel it's very annoying, it's very unpleasant. Right? But also it's a bit annoying, but long term is good for me. Also the person who giving advice, also that at the short time, the person, doesn't like it. But in the long term, it's benefit, then you can, give advice. Unpleasant or beneficial. Therefore, having realized that though unpleasant is helpful, act on it quickly, just as to cause an illness on drinks, dreadful medicine from one who cares. We know the advice is very kind of, unpleasant. The people don't like it, but doesn't matter. Quickly you act, give advice. Like eating or taking, the dreadful medicines. But when we take the medicine that is very sour, heaty, but we know the short term is very unpleasant, long term we cure the sickness. Then as a king, 143, always considering the impermanence of life, health, and dominance, you are thereby will make intense effort solely at the practice. So as a king, the king has a power poverty, wealth, fame. Then Nagarjuna was saying, always remember impermanence of your life, impermanence of the wealth, health, dominance, like the country, reminding him impermanence. Again, we are not a king, also we must remember, always considering or remembering the impermanence of life, health, and like a dominance or your house and country. You thereby will make instant effort solely at the practice of impermanence. Seeing that death is certain, and that having death, you suffer from ill deeds. You should not commit ill deeds. Through there may be temporal pleasance. Okay, so today we can stop here. We can have a more discussion through Q&A. And please, everybody feel free to, have a question. Feel free to have your experience through practice of Dharma. Please. Okay, have a discussion. Discuss something.
Yeah, Geshe, I think Christine has a question. Christine?
Yes, Venerable Geshe.
Welcome.
This problem of when my friends, their loved ones pass away or just pass away or going to pass away, that I like to give them some consoling words. So when I say that, the Buddha, they are Buddhists also. So I will tell them that Buddha has taught impermanence. And some of them, they take it positively, but some of them, they take it, I think, not so positively. So what would be the best words, consoling words to give to these people whose loved ones have just passed away? Thank you, Geshe.
So whenever we give advice to anybody, we need to know a few things. First, we need to consider this advice. We need to think about this advice, this teaching can digest this person or not. Generally can digest, he or she can digest. And this moment, thing can digest or not, number one. Number two, you knew, he or she can understand, digest the advice, but we need to think, we need to wait until the right time to give advice. Third, when we give advice simply, clearly. Don't, speak too much, particularly in Singapore. When you speak, talk too much, people easily get agitation. Remember three things. Can digest or not. Think about the timing. Don't talk too much when you give advice. Then the best advice for the person who lost, going to lose dear and near one. We say, oh, impermanent, everything like this. It's a bit, difficult to digest. The best advice, I'm not saying is really best. For me, when I advise, those family who recently lost someone, who going to lose someone very soon, I said, until today, you and your family very much care the person you provide the best things to him or her. You must have a sense of kind of appreciation the good relationship you had in the past. Now, the doctor, the nurses, everybody said, he or she cannot live long life. Maybe he or she can pass a few days. Also, we can see he or she doesn't have the power or energy to survive in other few days. We need to realize that real condition. Then say after he or she pass away, still we can do a lot of good things to benefit for him or her. Then when you remember, or in the past, particularly when he or she is sick, during that time, we have been doing best thing, him or her. Now they will realize out of their control, out of the doctors and nurse and medication out of control. But they know they cannot do much. Then when you say still, you can do so many things which is directly benefit for the person, then they have a kind of aspiration still after he or she left, still they think, oh, after he or she left, still I can do good thing for them. They feel bit calmness. But it's not easy because that time the people has a kind of mixing feeling. One, they know they're going to lose, already lost or going to lose. They very much have a strong attachment still there. At the same time, when they see someone already left, very soon going to leave, they also feel sadness themselves. One day I can be like that. Therefore, in their mind, they have a full of kind of emotions. So therefore, we need to know what kind of emotion they have that moment. So when we say impermanence or so-and-so, this kind of advice can digest, this kind of advice can be triggered the person who has deep understanding of impermanence. Sometimes people, forgetting the concept impermanence, somebody talk about then that it become very refreshed about impermanence, then easy to let them go. General, Buddhist people who don't have the deep understanding of emptiness, also impermanence, the advice cannot be much effect to those people. This then related to this kind of situation, when we usually advise others when he or she is having this kind of emotional suffering, but when things actually happen to ourselves, so we have to prepare. I won't be this kind of situation. It doesn't mean again I don't care who is dying, he already dead. No, we must care, we must think, we must do to benefit for them very best way. But we should not feel upset, unhappiness. Look like, since today, there's nothing around me. We should not think. That means last time someone came in TB, I said, as a Buddhist, everybody have to be qualified doctor to giving the good treatment to the serious patients. The doctor a qualified doctor, have a good heart, compassion mind, giving the right treatment, but the doctor never feel, the sorrow or suffering or unhappiness. Thank you for asking the question. Next question, please.
Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you.
Dear Geshe, there is a question from the Chinese side. So the question goes, thank you, Geshe. In the past, they have advised us to practice compassion. But as an ordinary person, our compassion, the practice that we practice, are polluted by attachment. All our compassions are polluted by our attachment. If that is the case, the compassion that we practice will never be pure. Can the unpure compassion that we practice, how to do so that it can become a pure compassion, then later become the cause of great compassion? So there are two questions over here. The first question is, the compassion that we practice are polluted by attachment. Can this type of compassion become the cause of pure compassion and great compassion? If not, how can we do, or how should we do so that we can practice a pure compassion? Thank you, Geshe.
Thank you for asking this question. Also, this question also very important. I'm reading one of the texts from Arya Deva. I will read again in Arya Deva. Then one of the disciples asked a question to Buddha. How we should tend our mind step by step all together. Then the Buddha answered, a great wise disciple, look at the mango. Look at the mango. The mango ripened moment by moment. It takes time to fully ripen. Look at the mango tree. It takes time to fully grow up, fully grow. Therefore, we must train our mind step by step, gradually, not within one day. Look at the potter who makes pot. The potter makes the pots step by step. One day, the potter can have a complete, beautiful pot. Look at the forest on the planets. Look at the forests. In the forest, there are all kinds of plants, medicinal plant, poison plants, big, small, with a flower, non-flower. All the trees planted in the forest, they grow one by one, not all together grow within one day. Look at the musician, singer who play instrument. They train for their professional life step by step. One day they became professional person. Then the last one, he was using how to be master in the arrow. So, yes, first it's okay to have a compassion. At least we have compassion with the attachment. Actually, there's no any one single sentient being who doesn't have compassion. Look at the lion in the forest. The lion killed, like a buffalo, horse, sheep, deer, killed for eat, for food, for survive. On the other hand, look at how the lion really cares, their cub. Therefore, there's not one single sentient being who doesn't have compassion. Every sentient being naturally have a love and compassion. Then as a human, I think generally we have a very similar compassion. Almost 80% human being, they have a love and compassion only their families and friends and dear and near one, not all sentient beings. But as a Buddhist, as a Mahayana Buddhist practitioner, we have love and compassion towards all sentient beings, all human beings. Now you can see how much great compassion we have. The great compassion is a great compassion, but still, polluted by attachment. But we think all compassion is polluted by attachment. 100% no. Among the 100% compassion, maybe just 10% polluted by attachment. When you generate compassion towards your family, your friends and dear and near one, this particular compassion polluted by attachment. When you generate compassion, rest of the sentient being, human being, those are very pure. There's no any attachment. You don't have attachment with the snake, tiger, dogs and cats and sheep or rest of the human being. Therefore, the polluted part is very small portion. A pure part is much bigger. Therefore, at the beginning, it's okay to have a polluted compassion. The compassion polluted only small portion of compassion, not the 100% compassion is polluted. For example, you have a 2% in front of you. One is your best friend. One is a stranger. Both has a, exactly same physical sickness. You have a medicines to share with your friends, share with the stranger person. When you give the medicine to your friend, you have a compassion. The compassion is with the attachment. When you give the medicine to the stranger person, you are giving with just pure compassion. Therefore, the first is okay to have a polluted compassion. At least you have such as great compassion, but not completely pure. Still can be pure. Definitely, the impure compassion can be transformed as a completely pure. In order to transform the polluted compassion into pure, you need to control your attachment towards your dear and near one. Once you control your compassion, so attachment towards them, that means your compassion become pure very quickly. Again, the polluted compassion can be caused to generate bodhicitta. Again, the bodhicitta is little bit polluted kind of bodhicitta. Still, through your effort, you can have a pure compassion, pure great compassion. The pure or impure compassion both can be caused to generate bodhicitta. Think about, this life maybe it's the first time during the billions of lifetime. We already has taken billions of life in the past. This love is the first time we hear great compassion, renunciation, bodhicitta, emptiness. We cannot be perfect, first time. We cannot be perfect very quickly. It takes time, but we need to keep the effort continuously. Therefore, it is not answer for the person who asked question, it's answer for all of you. All our practice at the beginning is incomplete, impure, polluted with so many negative thoughts. Slowly try to purify, put effort. One day, you can have a pure compassion. One day, you can be bodhisattva. Yes, this I answer you based on the Arya Deva's I think, practice.
Yes, Geshe-la, there's further questions.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yes, please.
It says over here, when we practice compassion, is it because we want to remove the sufferings of others, or we just want to remove the unpleasant feelings that we had when we see others suffering? How to differentiate? How to differentiate these two, and among these two, which one is the actual compassion?
It depends on the person who practice compassion. Look like reciting Mani Padme. For example, if I have a sense of unpleasant kind of insecure feeling in TPC, let's say in TPC, then I scared. Then I visualize Avalokiteshvara, recite a mantra. The recitation is I'm performing is only to reduce the fear. The second, after I reduce the fear, no more fear, then again I recite a mantra to benefit all sentient beings. It depends on the person who practice compassion. It depends on your motivation. It's okay, you can practice compassion to reduce, control the unpleasant feeling. It's nothing wrong. But if you only practice, or you practice compassion only controlling your fear or unpleasant feeling, it cannot be great compassion. It cannot be a cause to achieve bodhicitta and Buddhahood. Bodhicitta and Buddhahood. Then, so which is pure or impure, which is the real compassion? Both is compassion. If you just do generate compassion to only benefit for you, you have a compassion towards you. It's completely considered as a compassion. If you practice compassion to benefit your families, only your families, also is compassion, but with the polluted with the attachment. Therefore, in order to develop pure compassion, remember at the beginning, entering into middle way, three types of compassion explained. Study what are the three types of compassion. Compassion characterized by all sentient being impermanent. Remember all sentient being, all human being have a believing I can live maybe another 50 or 60 years. They believe in the kind of little bit permanent. When you realize all of them impermanent, can be die anytime, then you have a sense of compassion for all sentient beings. So this depends on what are the cause you generate bodhicitta. Remember one time, I think many of you attend His Holiness teaching. His Holiness the Dalai Lama, because these days there are so many His Holiness. All the Rinpoche like to use the His Holiness, His Eminence, His Holiness Dalai Lama. He said, remember, I also used this advice he gave. He said, someone is edge of the river bank, then you saw someone is drowning in the ocean of water. But next to them, there's one chunk of wood. The person not really seeing the piece of wood, still just jumping here and there. Then I wish the person can see the wood and hold the wood. It can be said. That time you have very pure compassion. So for your answer, it's okay, you can practice compassion to reduce your unpleasant feeling. It's okay, you can only practice compassion only benefit for your family and friends. This compassion not considered as a great compassion. This compassion, only this kind of compassion, gradually can be caused, but it cannot directly cause to cultivate bodhicitta. And thank you so much, all of you. Have a happy Sunday, right? Sunday. Thank you.